As we know, Edward, every day without a road death, and driving at work is one of the key risks, as we all know, that people undertake, and they don't know that they undertake it a lot of the time. People driving to work, driving from work and driving at work are all engaged in what can be a risky manoeuvre and a risky event. And so what we need to do is focus people to understand that actually, even if you are driving for work or driving to or from work, you've got to understand that risk and take care, understand it and react appropriately to it. So let's not get distracted. Let's not take those mobile phone calls, even though hands-free is lawful. Let's look at that risk and look at the impact it has on you being distracted. And then as a manager at work and maybe as an employer, if you're texting your staff, do they need to answer it? Do they need to see it? How is their work environment? That vehicle, how's it engaged? So let's look at all the risks that it poses. And if we can just cut down on those risks and improve that driver safety, then that may well be that one collision that we avoid and that one fatality or injury that we avoid as well.
Let's consider from the employer's point of view. You work for Highways England. Are they a good and respectful employer of the needs of their drivers? And give me some examples of how they do that.
Yeah, it's absolutely key. Highways England's first and foremost key priority is everybody home safe and well. And it means that everybody, not just our employees, it's our road users, it's our staff and it's our subcontractors out there. So our very first indicator that measures our performance is all about road safety. How many people are killed or injured on the road, and our aim and our vision is for 0 people to be killed or injured on our network. So as Highways England, we run the Driving for Better Business area. So Driving for Better Business is aimed at businesses and people, and there's a free analysis tool and you can go onto it and sign up and look at your work practices, your driving practices, your fleet policies, and look at how you can improve safety, save money, reduce insurance costs, reduce your impact on the environment. And it's absolutely critical to any business when we're looking at today. You want your staff at work, you want them to be safe and you want them to be productive, and by being safe and productive you'll increase your reputation and your impact and hopefully your business turnover. But if we address that in relation to the fleet, then we make a huge impact, because your fleet is your image when you're out there. If you have your vans signposted and your lorries signposted, people take a note and they want you to drive safely. They want to see good behaviour and you setting that example. And that's where Highways England and Driving for Better Business are key.
Why is it that people driving for, to or at work are more at risk than average?
There's a number of reasons behind it. I mean, the sad statistic is over 750 people a year are killed whilst driving for work, at work or from work. And what we need to look at there is that's 3 times as many people as are killed through drink and drug driving. That's a horrific statistic. And so is it because there are so many miles being driven by people in connection with work? Well, that's going to be one of those connections, but also people have lots of other pressures on them. They're distracted in their vehicle with phone calls, with music, with mobile devices. They're distracted through what they're thinking of ahead and their work schedules. Is that work schedule too much to expect that person to do? Are they thinking of their next call or their next meeting or their next delivery? And can we as an organisation, can we as a country and an economy say, okay, let's take a little bit of this pressure off? Can we stop making those phone calls and make our staff understand they don't have to take a phone call whilst on the move? They don't have to look at their mobile device. That schedule, can we just reduce it a little bit and make sure that they can stop safely, appropriately, get refreshed, have a cup of coffee, take a break, and then refresh the brain, and then take that driving again when they're fresh and they know what they're doing and they reduce the risk. And then they're likely to get home safe and well, and so is everybody else.
You have a unique perspective you can bring to this because of your professional background before you were with Highways England. Just touch on that and some of the things you'll never forget from the career you had. It's interesting. I spent 30 years within the police force, and the vast majority of that was in roads policing. I ended up within a unit that dealt with all the fatal collisions in the Midlands region and catastrophic collisions. I can trip numbers off left, right and centre, hundreds of fatal collisions, thousands of catastrophic injury collisions. It's the knock on the door that officers make, that the family liaison officer has to go knock and destroy someone's life, and how they knock that door, pass that devastating news on, because somebody may have made a genuine mistake, may have driven poorly, may have driven criminally, but it's still that person has lost their life, they're catastrophically injured, their life has completely changed. And families take years and decades, and some never recover from it. So the plea is,
Let's not let that poor officer have to knock that door at 3 o'clock in the morning and somebody open it and their life be destroyed. And one of the comments that was made to one of my staff many years ago was, you came into our life and you turned our frowns upside down and you made us smile again. And that's the work that family liaison officers do, but they shouldn't have to do that. Let's not have that death. Let's not have that person's life destroyed, somebody's life ended, so that FLO and that family liaison officer doesn't have to go in and try and turn that life around. Because the impact emotionally, physically, morally, ethically and financially to the country is significant, and it destroys people's lives. We drive safe, we drive better, we improve road safety, we reduce the likelihood of somebody being catastrophically killed or injured. What a difference that is to be able to make to somebody.
So with all your experience and in your present role and focusing on drivers at work, give us 3 tips.
Drive safely, drive slowly where appropriate or within the legal limit, and don't be distracted. That's 3 simple things that I would say that we can do to improve road safety.